This is BBC One in the South. Now South Today with Sally Taylor.
Hello and welcome to South Today. Their 4 boys are looking for bone marrow donors. Tonight the Hartley family joins us to talk about the overwhelming response to their plea for help. Also in tonight's programme, at last, a memorial to one of the world's most famous aircraft. And from football chairman to art lover, how Medeski has spent his millions. Hundreds of South Today viewers have come forward to try to help this family, the Hartleys, who are here with me in the studio tonight. Now, last night we told you how all 4 of their sons had been diagnosed with a fatal disease. Nathan, Joshua, Daniel and Luke seem like many other active youngsters, but they have XLP, a genetic disease which is so rare only 100 people have been diagnosed worldwide. Their only hope is a bone marrow transplant, but that depends on finding a matching donor. In the last 24 hours, just over 1,000 people have rung a telephone helpline asking to be added to the register of bone marrow donors. The charity which runs the register, the Anthony Nolan Trust, normally gets just a dozen calls a day. So let's find out. David and Alison. I mean, David, the response to this, extraordinary.
It's overwhelming, really, and it's very hard to put into words the gratitude we have to the 1,000+ people that have come forward and have made a commitment to help us and other families and people in similar situations.
And what's it going to mean?
It means that the probabilities of us finding a match for these 4 boys and for the other 7,000 people who are waiting for bone marrows is increased. Simply that.
And Alison, there is some hope, isn't there, as far as you're concerned? And we touched on it last night in South Today. Just tell us the details of that.
Yes, I mean, you know, the boys will eventually, once they've been through all this, will be able to lead sort of fairly normal lives. And
you could be a donor, just explain that.
Yes, this is it. Yeah, we've just found out that I'm actually a 9 out of 10 match with Josh.
This is Joshua here.
Yes.
OK, good, Joshua. So that could be good news, couldn't
And
it?
yes, and I've literally just today I've been for a blood test to see whether I have actually had the EBV virus, because then if I have, then I've got the right antibodies to fight off the infection. So we'll find out hopefully sort of end of next week if that's possible, and then hopefully Josh can go ahead with the bone marrow transplant in May.
Now, Joshua, I just want to speak to you because you on television last night. You've been in the newspapers today.
Yep.
What was it like at school?
By the end of the day, I was very, well, not angry, but I was just very...
Fed up?
Fed up of people saying to me, "Oi, I saw you on the news."
But it's for a good reason, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're really grateful for that, are you? And let me ask, who was it out of all of you who bought the Romsey Advertiser with their pocket money? Who was that?
Nathan.
It was you, Nathan. OK. And what was it in the Romsey Advertiser? The local paper?
There was a picture of all of us, and there was some information about the bone marrow transplant.
Yes, and that was a good idea, was it?
Yes, it was a very good idea.
OK, we want to find out a little bit more about that now and how you can still help. I want to bring into the studio now David Fenton, our health correspondent, who's here. David, I understand that you have just been talking to somebody in Canada who has this condition.
That's right. His name's David Rogerson, and he had XLP. It ran in his family. His brother had it and nephew had it, and they both died, sadly. But David managed to get a bone marrow transplant. He got a match from one of his relatives. He had the bone marrow transplant 2 years ago. It was successful. He's now doing fine. He's studying history in Nova Scotia in Canada. He's going to be a teacher. And when we spoke to him earlier, he had this message for the Hartley family.
Well, I know that when I was going through my transplant, I originally met with some people who had already gone through a bone marrow transplant. It was a support group for people who were going into their transplants and for people who had already passed through them. And I know seeing people who had passed through them and were living healthy, normal lives afterwards was really helpful to me. And I understand from the Hartleys that seeing me on the other side of this is probably going to be a little helpful for them. I also know that they have deep faith that God is with them through this all, and that he is helping them through this, and I know that that's going to be instrumental in helping them through this, and I wish them all the best.
That's encouraging, David, isn't it? Alison?
We've been in touch with David via the internet. It's the first time we've seen his lovely face. That's
Okay,
fantastic.
let's just go through, I mean, David Fenton, let's just go through how people can help, because people have been phoning even here to ask what they can do. What's happening?
Well, two ways, really. Contact the Anthony Nolan Trust on the telephone numbers that we've been giving out or on the website. But also, if you give blood, you can go along to your blood transfusion service and offer to go on to the bone marrow register through there. So two very easy ways to do it if you're interested. One other point people have been talking about is, of course, the age limit is 18 to 40. And some people have been saying, well, why can't we give bone marrow after 40? Well, there is a reason for that. They prefer younger people because physically it's a better match, but also you need to stay on the database for maybe 20 years.
Can I just, I mean, Alison, how, as a family, are you holding up through this?
We're trying to keep very positive, really. You know, I think we are a very sort of close family, and we've really been talking to the boys about it, so they understand what's going on. And obviously, our Christian faith has very much sort of held us together, and the support we get from friends and the church. So I think because there is a positive outlook at the end of this, and it's going to be a couple of years of it's going to be very hard. But because they are all fairly fit and healthy, then they should really come through this.
Okay. And I think that one of you wants to say something to everybody. Who's that? Is that you, Nathan?
Yes.
What do you want to say to everybody? And you can say it to that camera over there if you like.
If
you'd like to be a donor.
Be a donor and give your bone marrow, and you'll save a life.
They'll save a life. And you just like to say
Thank you very much.
OK, and we'd like to say thank you very much to all of you for coming in. Good luck, and we'll talk to you again soon, all right? Now, don't forget, anyone who is healthy and aged between 18 and 40, as David said, can join the register of potential donors. Details for contacting the Anthony Nolan Trust are there on the screen. Phone number 0901 8822 234. You can also enter their website as well to find out more.